So let's have a look at the first session one, the nature of commercial relationships. By the end of the session, you'll be able to apply a portfolio analysis technique to assess relationships in supply chains. And that's again a probability and impact of risk, matrices, again to identify supply, supplier and purchasing positioning, and to develop action plans. There are three basic types of relationships. Actor bonds are occurring in contracts. They're interactions and communications between individuals in each firm. Again, actors being the players in your organization and your world. The development and use of the personal context is common in business to business dealings and in the business network. When we look at the next one, activity links, these are doing things together. This may take the form of commercial transactions or coordination of plans or collaboration or even data sharing. And the final one, the resource ties. These are investments of resources in such as time and finance. There is a close relationship in both parties investing, and there also needs to be adaptations for each of the other parties. One of the things that you're looking at doing in resources is tying things in together, such as the integration of supply by information systems. These resource ties create mutual dependencies, which is like a win-win for both parties. They are difficult, and it also makes it very costly to switch suppliers, especially if your systems and processes are tailored to the ones you already have. So let's now look at some of the relationship drivers that you might have. Again, these are drivers that create a strong and permanent relationship. So quality of interaction in customer relations is almost represented by customer service encounters. The relationship here depends on the supplier's ability to consistently fulfill the customer's expectations and almost to create a positive experience at every single encounter and touch point, whether it's physical or by email or by telephone. And some of these touch points and some of these encounters may be positive and also they may be negative. So they might create trust, or they might even undermine trust. They might create goodwill, or actually the opposite, create conflict. And they might impede or enhance cooperation. If we look at the second part, that is the trust, this is central to the success of a supply chain relationship. It reduces the risk of doing business together and supports mutual investment in the relationship. If the supplier trusts the buyer and the buyer trusts the supplier, then they are likely to share confidential information, put more effort into proposals, and work in a much more collaborative process. Transparency is the willingness to share information, especially in today's day and age where information is very, very important, but also it is very easy to share, and you need to be a little bit more cautious in how you do this. If both parties are committed to the relationship, they are likely to be loyal and reliable. And in that reliable, then you're also getting some form of commitment. So if both parties are committed to the relationship, then they will share the goals. They will contribute to the sharing of the goals over and above the mere compliances. So they will go above what is written in the contract or in the basic expectations. Therefore, when you look at commitment, that is a commitment for success on both sides, it is very important for adding value and also in minimizing risk in a long-term supply chain relationship. The fifth one, cooperation and collaboration, these foster relationships. It's one of the key principles of relationship management. And that is for commercial relationships can be cooperative rather than adversarial and competitive. Buyers and even suppliers, and possibly even your competitors, can work together to add value, both to a mutual benefit in the supply chain and in the network of alliances. That final section, mutuality, exchange, and reciprocity, are terms to express the idea that both parties gain some benefit from the relationship. Again, reciprocity is give and take. Ideally, it shows the benefits of and the risks of a relationship that is shared fairly between them. Mutuality is essential for any sustainable commercial relationship. If both parties don't get something out of the relationship, it will be seen from one part to be exploitative, and it also might be seen as being fairly unethical. And in that case, it will probably be fairly short-lived.